So full body training is a time-tested way to get jacked, generally strong, and to do it relatively quickly. Here's the truth of the matter, guys. We all want the same thing when it comes to training. We want it to be effective, we want it to be simple, and we want it to be fun. Full body training, when done correctly, accomplishes all of those things and does it in less time than a lot of different ways that you can train. That's why it's my favorite, and in this new series, I'm gonna go through each and every one of my full body training sessions, show you the exact sets, reps, exercises that I pick, along with why I pick them, so that you can make your own effective full body training split as well. Real quick, fellas, before we jump back inside, get to training and go through this infographic, I'm curious to see where our common ground is at. Are you a full body enjoyer as well? Or do you like push-pull legs, upper, lower? What are you doing now and how you like it? Let me know with a comment down below. We're gonna head back inside. I'll see you there.
What's up, fellas? So this is an upper body biased full body session, particularly the anterior or front part of your body, with some touch-ups on the triceps and shoulders. Episode 2 is gonna focus more on the posterior muscle, so if you're keen to watch that, let me know. Real quick, before we get started, I really want to define what I mean by full body training. And that's just basically doing an upper and lower body exercise on the same day, in some combination of the two. Doing it that way gives you the flexibility to bias your training sessions to include whatever combination of exercises you like. That being said, first exercise of the day is always going to be an upper body lift on a full body session for the most part, unless it's a lower body biased full body session. Reason being is I just find that putting a lower body lift first just fatigues your upper body lifts a ton. Now, in terms of our dumbbell bench here, there's a couple things I want to touch on, and that's range of motion and safety. Dumbbell bench for me is filling what I call an extended range of motion press. These give you a better stretch on the pecs, your shoulders, and they just overall get you more jacked than like a barbell bench, for example. Now, there's two ways you can get a full range of motion. Here you can go neutral, or you can flare out a bit and aim for the armpit. You need to lower those dumbbells, whatever the case may be, around your body. The plates are too wide otherwise to get a full range of motion. Neutral grip in general is going to feel better for most fellas, but the more flared grip just feels like it hits more upper chest for me. Just go for comfort. They both work. Don't overthink it. I prefer the flared grip. A lot of people like neutral. In terms of safety, a lot of people wonder how you can safely dismount adjustable dumbbells since you got that spiky, uncomfortable collar that's just going to smash your leg. Well, I'm going to show you here. It's pretty easy. It takes some practice, and you definitely want to use the 10-pound plates since they give you the most clearance and surface area to rest the plates against your legs so that you can get into position and get off the bench safely. Cool little tidbit, actually, with that being said, is if you have to use 5s or 2.5s, like if you want to micro load the dumbbells, sandwich them between some 10-pound plates so that you can still take advantage of that surface area. Like I said, it's pretty simple. Just take some practice. After the dumbbell presses is some quick quality of life stuff and touching up the rear delts. So specifically, it's behind the neck press, rear delt flies, power raises in this case, Widowmaker style. I'm really just trying to touch up some shoulder hypertrophy, get some shoulder health going on. Really, behind the neck press for me is going to be best done with an easy curl bar. That's for most people. It's just most comfortable on the wrists, on the shoulders. And I feel that it's both not only a good builder of shoulder mobility, but also a good maintenance and just test for it, honestly. It's pretty much the only reason I do them besides the fact that they look chatty. They're just a really good test of that mobility. I can do them all the way down to my traps now, and at a point I was not able to do that. And maintaining my ability to do this just keeps my shoulders pain-free for every other press that I do. Now, in terms of hypertrophy, it doesn't hurt that you get a sick pump in the traps and that all 3 heads of your shoulder get recruited very heavily. Now, power raisers are my home gym replacement for my favorite rear delt exercise, the reverse pec deck. I like doing either of those Widowmaker style just because, honestly, bro, they're fun that way. I get a great pump, I get a good workout in, and I think a lot of times fellas just need to focus on getting a good workout in and making sure that their muscles are getting challenged. You don't have to go through these giga-brain periodization schemes, double progression, and then fun stuff like cluster sets to mix it up. That's really all you need. In terms of the range of motion, specifically where I'm pulling my elbows to, I like to use a somewhat diagonal arm path for the power raises, just because I feel like it hits my rear delts better. Now, what that looks like for you specifically is just going to depend upon, you know, where you specifically feel the best rear delt contraction. But for me, it's going to be somewhat angled. Now, here's the dreaded part of the workout where we touch up the legs. Yes, we're doing split squats. Split squats suck. You're limited by balance. They burn your yoke. You're out of breath. I know they suck, but here's the thing. They feel exactly like a leg press, and I really love them for that. Now, to make sure that you make this quad biased and you get that effect, form-wise, keep your knees forward on that front leg. Keep your feet close together and try your best to stay upright. If you can't keep your balance and you stumble, that's cool. I do that myself. But as long as you're making sure to get that big stretch on your quads and you keep somewhat of a constant tension on them, it's gonna feel remarkably good on your quads. I did 2 sets of these, I think 7 or 8 reps per leg, and I was sore for days after that, just by virtue of doing these alone. Next set of exercises done together is gonna be upright rows, tricep extensions, and then finishing off with some close grip easy bar press. This is gonna touch up the long head of the triceps and the entire delt. All of those things are super important for looking jacked in general. That being said, this is my favorite part of the session. Starting off with the upright rows though, they're my baby, man. I've bemoaned their benefits at this point, made many videos telling you why you should do them. I'm gonna show you a couple on the screen. But muscle-wise, all you need to know is they hit the complete shoulder and your traps. So it's gonna make you look really jacked if you get strong at them. Right after that, though, is the tricep extensions. The long head of the triceps loves to stretch, man, so let those shoulders hang back and keep them there. Don't do a mutant pullover tricep extension thing. That's not bad, but it's not as good as doing them like this. In an ideal world, I would have done push downs first to warm up the elbow. I got that from John Meadows a long time ago, but I don't have my pulley yet, so I made the best of what I had, made lemonade out of lemons, and I just used the upright rows to warm up my elbows instead. It still worked pretty good. But, I mean, after this, man, my triceps are cooked either way. Finish them off, though, and really punish them with the close grip presses, Lee Priest style. Chad exercise, Chad name, really good burn on the triceps.
Put your butt on my neck.
Look, man, there's a method to my madness. The closer you get the weight to your neck, the more your upper body is actually going to be under load. So that's why I told her to do that. Last superset is going to be some weighted push-ups and then some more long head of the tricep work. I picked something that was slightly less range of motion on the pecs and then slightly easier on the elbows than the lying tricep extensions, just because I got in a really powerful stimulus from the dumbbell bench and then the tricep extensions. It's redundant to hit it with the same type of stimulus, even if you want to get more volume for the muscles. So that's going to be the name of the game for you fellas that want to incorporate this split into your training program. Just keep that in mind with your training. Don't be redundant. After you hit one physical quality, if you can hit another physical quality or another range of motion, do that, because that's what's going to keep your training fun, honestly, number one, and then just keep your joints healthy as well. That's all she wrote, y'all. This was a lot of fun to put together. I'll see y'all back outside for the wrap-up.
All right, fellas, listen, that was a lot of fun to make. I hope you enjoyed it as well. You let me know. I really want to go through each and every category of exercises as well, just to give you some plug-in and play variations for everything that we talked about there. So starting with the dumbbell bench, I really like using any extended range of motion chest press. I'll just give you 3, for example. That could be the Nemesis bar bench press, or really any cambered bar bench press. That could be ring push-ups weighted, or it could be a deficit weighted push-up. I really like those 3. Those are 3 variations that you can cycle through, just depending upon what level of equipment that you have at home or at the gym. In terms of the behind the neck press, there's 2 that I really like that you could use in that same slot that will accomplish the same things that we talked about. You could do a nice dumbbell press where you hang back with the dumbbells back here. You can also do behind the neck Smith press. That'll do the exact same thing. Now, in terms of the rear delt work, y'all know I love face pulls. You could put face pulls there. You could put upright rows there instead of later in the workout, or you could have a reverse pec deck. Those are 3 that I really enjoy in that slot. In terms of your low scale quad biased motion, it's really going to be any leg machine that doesn't tax your lower back. So it could be a hack squat, it could be a leg press, a single leg press. It could be some other form of split squat, maybe even where you do, instead of a quad biased variation, you do that glute biased split squat, which lets you use a little bit more weight. In my case, a lot of more weight, but it's just something that's low scale that lets you touch up the lower body, particularly pertaining to the anterior part of it, so like your quads. It's like a good brain way of saying quads. Now for upright rows, you're really looking at like a general shoulder slash upper back hypertrophy motion. Upright rows combine both of those things really well, but there's no reason why you couldn't pair that with, say, for example, a face pull and then a lateral raise, or, you know, an upright seal row is something that you could use in that slot as well. A cable upright row is something that I really enjoy. That's pretty similar to a face pull. The two exercises are interchangeable. Now, long head of the tricep work, in a perfect world, I would pair something like a press down with the tricep extension. But I just don't have the pulley yet. It's coming in the mail. Next time I do this session, it's pretty much exactly what I'm gonna do, right? I had to make do by taking an extension that was easier on the elbows and just pairing it with the lying tricep extension to kind of get that same effect, right? So you do the extensions to warm up the elbows, flush blood into the triceps and into the elbows so that you're more prepared to do the tricep extensions without elbow discomfort. That's a really cool combo that I got from John Meadows, and what I'm going to suggest to you, any long head of the tricep exercise is really going to work. I really am a big proponent of dual rope pushdowns. I think they're the best way to do a pushdown. I feel as though you're missing out on range of motion on the long head of the triceps if you don't do it that way. But there's no reason why, if you prefer like a V-bar or a shorter rope or a straight bar, that you couldn't do that. All of those are fine variations to use, especially if you're just doing it because you're tired of doing dual rope pushdowns. I've certainly been there as well. Now, the goblin push-ups. If you don't have someone at home to sit on your back or enough weights to put on your back safely, there's a couple different things you can do, right? So you could either do, you know, in that case, a dip, where you can just suspend the weight from a dip belt, or you could just do more overhead work. It just depends upon what you want your program to be emphasized around. I find for me that any chest press that I do develops my front delts very well. So I don't find the particular need to do a whole lot of overhead work. Now for you, that might be different. You may want to emphasize the front delt, or maybe you just want to get stronger overhead in general. It's really up to you. So again, either you could do like a dip or any chest press that you want there, close grip bench, close grip Larson press, ring push-ups if you didn't do it at the beginning, or any overhead exercise of choice. Three that I like are dumbbell overhead press, seated non-back supported overhead press, and then like a Smith machine overhead press would work really well there. Fellas, like I said, this was a ton of fun. I'm really excited to make episode 2. That is going to be focused around back exercises, posterior chain, and then the biceps, because we all want big biceps. We all want to curl those hundos around. I'm going to work on that. Y'all have any questions about this video, please let me know. I'll see y'all there. Have a good day.